friends, welcome to the start of a new vlog. I am in Park Slope right now, getting ready to go get my hair cut at Union Beauty. Just got out of the haircut. I didn't really do too much to it. Honestly, I'm trying to make sure that it's long enough to have enough to work with for the wedding, so nothing too drastic right now, just like a little trim and freshen up. Yeah, I think it looks great. Walking home right now. It's like a 30-minute walk back to my apartment, and it's nice outside, walking through Park Slope. I mean, come on, what could be better? Morning, everyone. I am out bright and early at the Black House Garden, planting up some seedlings before work. This thrift store find, I know I just keep raving about it, but it is one of the best purchases I have made in a while. So useful, the perfect size for a plant plug. It's amazing. It's an Italian rolling pin, apparently. Hello. We are grilling out tonight, so I want to get the marinade together for the recipe that we are making. We're cooking or grilling a recipe called grilled bourbon chicken. We've never made it before, but it sounds good, so I'm gonna get that together now. It's about 3:30, so it'll give it several hours before we grill it, and we'll hopefully make it taste even more delicious. We are hanging out at the Black House Garden, grilling, say hi, grilling our bourbon chicken, and we're also making a grilled peach, watermelon, and burrata salad. I'm very much looking forward to this dinner. Of course, when I'm in the garden, I cannot help but work on things related to the garden, so while Andrew grills, I will tend to the never-ending work that is my beautiful gardens. I'm going to take this time to pot up my eucalyptus, which is one of the plants I am most excited about to have grown from seed. These seeds were very challenging to track down. I will leave the Etsy seller linked in the description box in case you're interested, but they are definitely outgrowing their cells, and these will grow on in pots for quite some time. So I'm gonna go ahead and pot these up and grow these on in the greenhouse probably for the majority of this year. I won't be planting these outside just yet. It'll probably take a few years for them to reach any sort of substantial size. Tonight's dinner, the bourbon chicken with a side of grilled peaches, watermelon, and burrata salad. And we had a leftover zucchini from zucchini lasagna, so we decided to throw that on the grill as well. These recipes are absolutely delicious.
Smashing.
Grilled just gives things a whole other level of flavor. The chicken is fantastic. The burrata salad is amazing. Gorgeous company. Good morning.
Hello.
We are on our way to the East Village to a patisserie called Venero's to do a cake tasting today for the wedding. I'm pretty sure, or we are pretty sure, that we know which one we're gonna go with because they're known for their tiramisu and it's delicious. But we figure we'll give some others a try just to make sure. Honestly, it feels a little strange to me vlogging right now or doing this like happy moment thing when that school shooting happened in Texas yesterday. What a horrific thing. Honestly, I have no words and wish that we can like have this anger in me and like wish we could do things about gun reform in this country, but yeah. Vote in your elections. Thoughts of it are completely consuming me ever since I read the news yesterday. I didn't even want to like get out of bed this morning. It was, how do we just go on in times of like trauma after trauma and crisis after crisis? Hello, we are back after the cake tasting. We ended up going with their tiramisu cake, as I figured we would. I mean, it's so delicious. I'm really excited about it. So it's ordered. I didn't even know they could do a bunch of designs, so I wasn't prepared with like a design to show them. So I need to kind of check out Pinterest for some cake designs and see like what I would like them to do. Came back and ordered in some food, and now I'm finishing up my work for the day. I still have a couple hours left of work I need to get done, and then we're gonna be, I think, grilling out again tonight and spending some time in the garden. Hello, I am mixing up the marinade for tonight's dinner. We're gonna be grilling out chicken shawarma. I'm excited to try this one. I haven't tried it before, and the spice blend looks really good. There's cumin, paprika, turmeric, curry powder, cinnamon. It looks delicious, although it's gonna be really hard to top last night's dinner. That was one of the best recipes we have eaten in such a long time. The bourbon chicken and the grilled peach and watermelon burrata salad. Scrumptious. A+, so good, but we've not tried this one before. We even thought about canceling this meal plan to just make the bourbon chicken again, but we thought, let's like try another one. Maybe we'll be surprised and then this will be the new favorite, you know? So we're gonna stick with it. So I'm going to mix this up and then we're gonna go over to the garden and grill and eat our dinner outside. Here's the chicken with its marinade. I'm going to put a lid on this and then we'll put this in the fridge until we're ready to start grilling. Andrew and I are relaxing at the Arbor Garden. Everything is just, it's so magical. This garden turned out so much better than I could have ever hoped for. The purple color scheme, it's so on point. It's so on point. A year and a half ago, I removed a tree right here because it was shading out all of the garden, and I planted this very English cottage style inspired garden. So I have roses, I have salvia caradana, lupins, catmint, more roses, grasses. It is very wild in here. Dahlias that I planted with you guys are almost 100% above soil level now. Some of them are getting enormous. So exciting. This is one that overwintered. I guess I missed part of a tuber, which is interesting. I'm glad to know that they can overwinter, but I'm not sure which one it is. I will feel extremely lucky if it happens to be American Dawn, which is one that I lost in storage. Fingers crossed. We were lazy.
We were lazy, but we managed to make this complicated dish that required a marinade.
Good morning, everyone. Today is a new day. I'm wearing my Persephone pants, the Anna Allen pattern. I wear these all the time, and a linen shirt that I got from H&M a long time ago. Today is, what day of the week is it? Thursday. It's Thursday. Wow, this week is honestly flown. It's flown by. Yeah, anyway, so happy Thursday to you. Today I'm going to be working, and then I really want to spend some more time in the garden. I just found it to feel like really healing yesterday, so probably do a little more of that. I really want to work on my dress more. I'm at the point now where I'm going to be attaching the skirt to the bodice, so it's like one of those stages. Whenever I reach a stage in a project where it requires a little more thought, a little more effort, I try not to push through into that from whatever previous stage I was in, because I don't want to become fatigued by the project and rush because I'm in like an excitement to try it on. So I try to like pace myself a little bit more now, because the work always ends up coming out a lot better. And the craft of it turns out better just when I like pace myself and slow down. So yeah, so that's the next stage that I have on that project. Let me show you. It's coming together beautifully. Thank you so much for all of your suggestions that you gave me about how to get pointy corners on the notches. I haven't heard that tip before. A lot of people suggested in the comments that you sew like 1 or 2 stitches at a 45-degree angle or a diagonal, or something like about sewing a couple stitches on the diagonal instead of just doing like a stop and turn, like pivot at it. So I don't know exactly what that means. I think I'm just gonna look up a YouTube video for it, but thank you so much for this advice. I'm really happy to know that, and now I know how to get like crisper corners in the future. I've already found the next project that I want to work on. Let me show you. This is it. Isn't this so cool? The same influencer who inspired the project I'm currently working on bought this dress, and now I must have it. I just love that deep plunging V. I think this is just such a beautiful design. Probably not in a printed fabric. We'll have to see. Probably a solid. I'm just more of a solids person than a lot of prints, but yeah, I think this is really pretty.
Wowie, wow, wow.
Wowie, wowie. We did it. Invitations are mailed. There's no turning back now. We have to have this wedding. Don't get me wrong. I want to marry the love of my life, But a wedding is such a faff. It's so much planning. It's so much stress. It's not a lot of stress. It's just like coordination. Yeah.
Everything is more difficult than it needs to be. That's my complaint.
Yeah. Ugh. So anyway, invitations are mailed. We're making a stop over at the Arbor Garden. Look at this bloom. Woolerton Old Hall. They're enormous. Enormous, as big as my hand. And lupins becoming such a favorite. They start blooming before everything else in here did, before the salvias, before the catmint, and they're still going strong right now and have many more on the way. I just counted, in this one plant here has 17 blooms on it. Insane. Hello, back home after mailing the invitations. Oh my gosh, it's real. It's really happening. Just working on work stuff right now. Just been having a think about how my anxiety levels are like super, super high right now. I'm sure I'm not alone with that, just with all the things happening in the world. And I mean, me especially with the wedding planning on top of that in particular, and just, yeah, it's just a lot going on. And I kind of realized that I haven't exercised in a really long time. I was in such a good habit of doing a workout every morning, and I love exercising. I use it to manage my mental health especially. So the fact that I haven't done it for like several months now, I mean, I do like little ab workouts in the morning, but I feel like that doesn't really count. I'm not doing like dedicated exercise right now, and I think I really need to get back on that, recommit to doing something small every day, even if it's just for a walk around the park, which is totally, fine. So yeah, rather than wait for tomorrow morning to start a new morning routine or recommit myself to a morning routine, I'm just really looking forward to the end of the workday so that I can go on a walk in the park after work. It's been a week. It's been a week, hasn't it? So here I am. I'm going to put on some music, take a nice long walk. That was absolutely incredible. It was wonderful. I loved it. I will definitely be doing more of that. Yeah, she is.
Poking her nose where it don't belong.
Mika's digging in the trash non-stop. She smells chicken. Anyway, freshly showered. And now we're cooking one of the best recipes known to mankind. Margarita chicken. Excuse me. No shame at all. No. Get out of there. In case you are wondering why this recipe is so good, hello, it is Friday. We made it. So it turns out that Something Delightful is having a sale. All Vogue patterns are $6 and McCall's patterns are $4. Hopefully, if you guys see this, the day that I post this video, the sale is still going on. Sometimes they sneakily extend it a little bit too. So fingers crossed for you if you want to pick anything up in that sale that you can. I'm getting 3 patterns so far, and 1 pattern they are currently sold out. So I'm gonna go to Etsy to get that one because I think I need it for my next dupe. I am in the craft room, about to start working on my dress hack again. Andrew is going to be painting a miniature project. Not that you can see much of that from here. And it's going to be a lovely crafternoon. So last time I worked on this, I have the bodice pieces complete and I have the skirt piece complete, and now it is time to attach the bodice to the skirt. The skirt does not have a lining as of yet. I will figure that out later. I can go ahead and attach it to the self and then attach the skirt lining once I decide what to do about that to the lining. I'll just leave this unfinished for now. The lining side, I mean. And yeah, it'll be I've been waiting, kind of putting this off because it's gonna take a little bit of finagling and fitting, but I'm gonna get my measuring tape out and see like how much overlap is gonna happen, what the final measurement will be once I stitch it together, so I can kind of get a better sense for what's going to happen with the fit. Okay, this is really exciting because I have measured both my skirt piece and the circumference of around the waistline of my bodice, and both of them look like they are going to be pretty dead on to what I need for my measurements, plus like an inch of ease. So that honestly sounds perfect. Fingers crossed that that's what happens once I actually sew it together, because who knows, sometimes, you know, my measuring could be off, or I don't know, my body is, I'm just mismeasuring myself in some way, but fingers crossed. It's looking good right now though. So right now I am pinning the bodice to the skirt. One thing that I'm changing about the pattern is that I'm leaving out a waistband. There's a waistband piece in this pattern, and there's also a waistband piece in my inspiration. But I don't typically go for waistband pieces because if I ever want to add, I really love belts as a styling piece with my wardrobe, and to me I think it just looks strange to put a belt on top of a dress that has a waistband. I don't know why, I just think it looks better when there's not a waistband if I want to add a belt, and I frequently add belts as part of my personal style. I do plan on also making a belt out of the fabric, like a tie belt with it, because I think that would look so elegant and Italian style dress that I'm going for with this. But I can still make that belt separately without putting a waistband into it. So I'm going to skip the waistband, I think. Hopefully the dress won't be too short on my bodice, but most of the time when I'm making bodices, I'm frequently shorting them because I have height right here, but I'm really short-waisted. So I'm frequently sewing very long shoulder seams, like as scant a seam as I can on the shoulder seams to get length up here, but then almost always end up cutting my bodices shorter right here. So fingers crossed that not having the waistband is not going to look strange, like eliminating it, and hopefully this will hit me in the right place. Apologies that you can see my underwear through this. Just pretend like it's a bathing suit. There's obviously not a lining in it yet. So I think it's turning out really well. I just have it pinned in the back right now. It's a little more conservative than I was originally going for. I was hoping for a little more cleavage show with the V. I think it's really classic and really beautiful. Again, I know I need a lining for it. Don't worry, Mom. But yeah, but I think it's looking really pretty regardless. Like, even if it's not exactly the neckline that I was hoping for, I think it still achieves what I wanted it to achieve. So for that, I really like it, and it's like full coverage. I feel very comfortable in it. Like, it would be a great dress just to wear for any occasion. So for that, I think it's a win. I'm excited to get the sleeves like properly bound so that they are the width that I would desire them to be, because right now they're kind of like extending over my shoulder, which I don't love that. And then the length I think is also really nice. I'm probably going to do a baby hem on this to preserve as much of the length as possible. If I could go back, I might have cut it like maybe an inch or two longer, but I'm not complaining. I think it looks gorgeous. So yeah, liking how it's turning out. Wish there was a bit of a little bit more cleavage on show. Not like a lot, people, like calm down, you know, but like just a little bit more open. But I don't know how to like achieve that. I think it may be something that like I cut it too far. I don't know. I'm not sure how to really fix that at this stage without recutting the pieces, which is just not possible because I've already done the notch. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I still love it. I think it's really, really beautiful. Just not exactly what I had in mind, but something to keep in mind for the future. Now, as for the lining, I have decided to cut it out of a rayon crepe de chine that I have in my stash. It's almost the exact same color. Unfortunately, I only had 2 yards of it, so I was only able to get the front and the back out of it. I still need these 2 pieces. So I've taken to fabric.com, I've ordered some more. Hopefully that will be on the way soon so that I could finish this project. But for now, I'm kind of at a standstill until I get the lining sorted out. I don't want to insert the zipper without getting the lining in there first. So I'm thinking I might cut out something new because it's probably gonna be a week, maybe less. They can be really speedy sometimes, it just depends. But I might be a week until I get that fabric. So what to make next? So I have gotten this pattern out of my stash. It is Vogue 9236. There is a dress by Moda Operandi. There's a dress by Moda Operandi, I'll put a picture on the screen, that I've been wanting to dupe for quite some time, and I bought this as a potential to dupe it. It's a really simple pattern, like 4 pattern pieces in it. Gorgeous, buttery, soft twill from Picnic House Supply. I'm also debating on if I should use that right now anyway, because she gave that fabric to me as a PR sample for a collaboration, and she's out on maternity leave right now, so I feel like I shouldn't use that fabric until she's back and her shop is open, because then that kind of like defeats the purpose for her. So I don't know, I'm on the fence. I don't know what to do about this yet. Like, I have a plan for making this, but what if it doesn't work out? And again, because she's on maternity leave, I don't want to just like promote her product when she's gone and the shop is currently closed. So maybe I should pick something else instead. Good morning, friends. Happy Saturday. Today I am supposed to be meeting my friend Brittany and some of her friends in Dumbo today, but you know, I haven't heard from her yet about if that's still on. I think it's supposed to rain today, so it's possible that they might be rescheduling that hangout. I don't know. Either way, I need to get out into the garden because I have a ton of seedlings I still need to plant, and if I'm going to use these in the wedding, then they need to get them in the ground. So I'm going to spend the next few hours definitely out in the garden here at the Black House Garden and then over at the Arbor Garden as well, planting as much of these seedlings as I possibly can fit. It is definitely a hair up kind of day. Andrew's out for the day. He's going to Secaucus, New Jersey, which it's like this town that's kind of close to, it's very close to New York City, but it's this like industrial meets landscape kind of vibes. I don't know. So he's had some ideas for some paintings that he wants to do. He's actually working on one right now, or he's recently finished it. Let me show you. It's really, really cool. I love it. But it's got this like industry meets nature vibes, and I love those kinds of themes in nature, like man versus nature. I just think that they're really beautiful paintings, and so he's going to Secaucus to take some photos over there. I let him borrow my camera to get some inspiration for future paintings. So he invited me to that, but I was like, you go have fun. As wonderful as that sounds, which I actually do think it would be fun to go and just see the landscapes. I don't know, I just like little random adventures like that. But I really do need to get my seedlings planted. I've got to make that my priority this weekend for sure. Looking around for my keys and my visor, but I just remember that my new sun visor, I left it in the greenhouse so that it would just always be there for me to use in the garden. But I thought I would update you on this sunscreen that I've been using, the Tatcha Silk Sunscreen. This is a pricier item for sure. I'm loving the formula. It's so lightweight. I love it under makeup. I have it on right now. it just gives like a really glowy base to the skin while also keeping your face protected with sunscreen. It's SPF 50 in it and hyaluronic acid. The only thing I'm not loving is the packaging. It's such a slim, like it fits into anything really well, but because it's so slim, it doesn't like, I mean, it stands up, but it's precarious, you know, like I know I just knocked it over, but you know, when you're setting something down after pouring it into your hand and you need to set it down onto the counter and you're nervous it's gonna fall over because you can't get the cap on while you've got the stuff in your hand, it's just like not the best design for that reason. And then also because you're supposed to shake it before use, like really, really vigorously. Once you shake it and then when you open the top, some product comes out of the top like once you open the lid, which, you know, for a product this expensive, you don't want to waste any of it. So those are my thoughts right now. I love the product. I just think the packaging could have used a little more thought. Here's a look at the garden right now. Lots of purple, which I love. The woodruff is coming into bloom. I love these little like purple flowers. It's a great edging border plant. It's very low. Salvia caridana blooming. The first lupin masterpiece. These were a gift from my mom for Christmas. Lots of buds on the roses, but no flowers just yet. I am over now at the arbor garden. I brought my cosmos and my zinnias, which by the way, look horrifically bad. Let me show you. I felt much better after Erin of Floret mentioned that her zinnias look absolutely terrible this year. They look so bad. I mean, I'm still gonna plant them. I'm gonna try to pull off any of the diseased leaves, but I really need these, which kind of sucks. Cosmos are looking great, but yeah, so I'm gonna plant all of that, most of that at least, into this bed right here and then dot them in wherever I can find additional space. But you guys, I pulled up to this garden, as in walked up, and I was just met with this, like, look at this. Look at this perfect rose. This is Ambridge. She is a stunner. She's my other favorite, along with Crown Princess Margareta. The coloring is just, it's perfect, especially with Woolerton Old Hall on the climber right here. And then, ignore my squashed planters, but Abraham Darby, also insane right now. Like, what? I've also got the first ranunculus blooming. All right, cosmos planted. So in this bed, like I said, I have, I don't know, like 6 to 8 different varieties of zinnias, so many varieties of cosmos, scabias. There's some poppies that are just for fun. These won't be for the wedding, but I can't resist because I love poppies. Some dahlias. This right here is like all dahlia and roses. All right, got everything planted over here. I have like half of one tray left, so that means I got like 3.5 seed flats planted, which is amazing. I've got the majority of all of my wedding flowers in, so I know a lot of you are really curious about what I'm growing for the wedding. I don't know if you care about like specific varieties or not. If you want, I can do a blog post of all of the like specific varieties, but zinnias, cosmos, dahlias, anything that's like a late summer plant. My hair's looking crazy. Anything that will bloom in late summer, that is what I'm going to have. Sorry, I had to pause for a minute because there's a lot of people doing work on their houses outside in the neighborhood. But yeah, so I'm not doing a ton of foliage plants, which I know is kind of a mistake because you can get your bouquets to go, or like floral arrangements of any kind, to go so much further if you have foliage to mix with it. So that's kind of like, I would say, a rookie error on my part, but I don't know, I just can't seem to rationalize the room for it. So maybe I can pick literally anything that's in the garden that I can pick, I'm going to pick. That's the plan. Other plants would include things like scabious. Nicotiana is sort of like a foliage plant and a blooms plant, so it'll kind of double as both, I'm hoping. Well, I just got back to the Black House garden. It is completely clouded over. It was sunny as all get out like 10 minutes ago, and now it looks like a tornado could touch down at any moment. This feels so good. Empty greenhouse, and not a moment too soon. Well, almost empty. These are kind of like my plant triage. In case something dies, then I can replace it. But it's not a moment too soon because the trees are leafing out. So this greenhouse does not get as much sun as it did in late winter and early spring. Perfect, honestly, because that's when I need the greenhouse, is late winter and early spring. So that really works out, honestly. The garden is looking very lush, very green. Not very many blooms right now, but it's kind of that in-between part of the season when all that's blooming are alliums, foxgloves if you have them, salvias, and roses. And because all the roses in this garden are new, they are not going to bloom for a little bit later, but next year they will be in like full bloom right now. I've been in such a groove with gardening today that I have not had anything except a slice of banana bread. So, when pieces on a bagel, don't you want me, baby? So it turns out, I don't have to figure out what my next project is because I know what it is. I was pattern testing for an exciting project and I didn't know if I could share it or not. Turns out I can. I can even post pictures of it on Instagram if I want to. I just can't share the pattern. But Anna Allen is releasing another pants pattern. It's a jeans pattern, and I am so excited because I've been waiting for this pattern to come out for like 2 years. I'm not kidding. She first teased the pattern like literally over 2 years ago now, and ever since she showed it, I was like, that's my perfect pair of jeans, I want it. And Anna's patterns, let's just say, have a way of making the booty look good. So I cannot wait to sew this pattern. In fact, I have been accumulating denims for this very moment. This whole, wait, where are they? Oh, you can't even see because it's so dark in here, but there's a whole stack of denims that I have been saving just for this pattern. So I cannot wait. I have the pattern, but unfortunately the copy shop that I use to print my patterns is not open on Sunday. They're open on Monday. So, hopefully they're open on Monday. I don't know because it's Memorial Day weekend. So fingers crossed that they are open so I can get it printed on Monday and get started because I'm ready. I love sewing jeans. It's such a fun project to sew, and I love Anna's patterns. They're always so well done. So yeah, I'm really excited to get started on this. Good morning, everyone. I feel like this vlog has been kind of boring so far because I didn't show you a whole lot yesterday, even though it's exciting for me. It's been pretty exciting for me having all these things planted, but I feel like there's only so many time lapses of me planting stuff on this vlog that I can show you. So it's another day out in the garden. I have the love of my life here with me, and he's gonna help fix my trellis today. In addition to making some new canvases for himself, we got some supplies at the grocery store to grill out for our lunch later today. We've got some iced coffee. So yeah, it's just been a very relaxed morning in the garden. So I've just taken my first ever cuttings. I've tried doing cuttings before with sweet peas. I was not successful with that. That was like several years ago though. So I'm going to try to take some cuttings of my hydrangea. Also, I took 8 cuttings here, and I'm just following this tutorial that I saw from Anya the Garden Fairy on Instagram. So I will leave that tutorial linked in the description box for you if you are interested. But yeah, so fingers crossed that this actually works. According to the video, the best time to take cuttings of hydrangeas are in spring. But these are softwood cuttings. Apparently you can do hardwood cuttings as well. Again, I am not an expert. I'm just showing you that I'm trying it out, and we will see together what happens. So I've got my cutting, dipping it in the rooting hormone, and then I have this container of soil, and I'm just going to push it into the side. Cuttings are in. I have them all around the edge of the container. I'm going to get some water and water this in. In fact, I'll just use the water in this jar that's behind you. I've watered the cuttings, and then I will get a plastic bag to enclose over them to keep them hydrated. I'll be sure to report back on how it does. Like I said, I've not been successful with the cuttings I tried in the past, but maybe I'll have better luck this time. We were literally at the garden all day today. We just got back. And now, I don't know why, I'm just got like a burst of sewing mojo and sewing energy. And so I am looking through all of my patterns, all of my inspiration, and I am making a little list with a little drawing of every single thing I want to make for like a summer collection. So that's what I'm doing right now, and I'm having so much fun. Even if I don't actually sew all of them. Like, I remember the last time I did this was when I was really inspired by this brand called Cezanne. I still love Cezanne. And I have a little drawing and description of the fabric requirements for every single object that I wanted to make. And I made all but one. Not like in a row in order, but at some point since I last looked at this notebook, I have made all but one item from that project. I called it my Cezanne closet. Those of you who followed me on Patreon might remember that. But yeah, so now I'm doing a summer collection project where I'm again just drawing out all of the ideas and all of the projects that I want to make. I'm sure I'll get to all of them at some point, maybe not like right away, but it's good to like organize my thoughts a little bit and like assign fabrics to a certain project or design or pattern. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going through all my patterns and I'm making my sketches and assigning my fabrics, and if I don't have a fabric that I want for it in my stash, then I'm making a list and I'm going to order from fabric.com because they are doing a Memorial Day weekend sale this weekend, so better to get it with a discount. A million hours later, 20 projects all planned out, quick little sketches, the patterns that I need to get printed, fabric list, things that I already have, things that I need to order. It's all in here. I honestly think it would be pretty boring to show you every single plan that I have in here, but make no mistake, once I start actually working on any of these patterns, I will definitely tell you in great detail all the things that I'm working on. But for now, it feels really good to have like something planned, because that's what I struggle with the most is this in between projects. This lighting is so harsh, oh my gosh. This in between thing where I'm getting into a groove on a project and then I have no clue what to make after that, and I sit there and like wallow because I don't know what I'm gonna make, and now I have 20 projects that I can make. A lot of these are very different than my usual. Some of them are quite trendy. I don't know, I feel like a shift in my style in the past several months, and I've just felt lost because I don't know what to make, and I don't follow people that give me the inspiration for the way that my style is shifted, so it's taken me a little while to kind of find who inspires me in terms of sewing, because a lot of my projects are inspired by ready to wear and like dupe and hacking sewing. So now that I've kind of gotten into a little bit of a groove with figuring out my personal style a little bit more and how it's shifted, I can finally plan out some new projects. And a lot of them are quite different than what I've been making for the past few years. So I'm really excited about it. If you're interested in a little sneak peek of things to come, I'll show you some of the patterns that I will be keeping on my desk, because these are, like, I always stash a stack of patterns right there for like upcoming patterns that are inspiring me or things that I'm thinking about making next. So I have this skirt right here and this Vogue pattern. It's so cute. This right here, because I use this bodice all the time, Simplicity 8635, that View B bodice. I use that shape constantly. It's honestly a little bit too small for me, so I need to remember to try to grade that out a little bit. This pattern right here, which I've already discussed with you, but this will be a later project because I want to make sure that Picnic House Supply has come back from maternity leave before I start using fabric that she gave me as a PR sample for a collaboration. This dress, I have had this in my stash for a while, and I thought for a long time that I was gonna make it in a stripe, and I considered using that one. But then I looked up projects on Instagram that other people have made and found that my favorite projects were honestly the solid color ones. So I've ordered an olive green tencel twill to make this in, and I think it's gonna look really nice. So I'm excited about that. I've tried making this pattern before, not successfully. It's in my unfinished whips pile, which is not huge. There's like, I don't know, 3 or 4 projects in that pile, and one of them just needs a hem. But I think I'm gonna give this another go and use View D this time. For some reason, the sleeve was really fighting me when I was trying to do the sleeve on it. It just was not fitting very well, but I think this one will fit much better. So I wanna do like a dress inspired by the Nap dress, which is like a really popular dress in case you haven't heard of it. I don't remember the name of the brand, but the dress is called the Nap dress. M7777. I've used this pattern like 3 times for this bodice only. I've not used any of the bottom parts of it, but I've used this bodice before and I love it. So that's going to be upcoming. And then this, not for the top, although I do really like the top, but this is going to be for the pants pattern. I'm not going to be making these exact pants, but I'm going to use this to hack something else, a different shorts pattern that I just purchased from an Etsy seller online. I'll go into more detail about that later, but I just want to reference it for the slash pocket that's on here, because the shorts pattern that I bought does not have pockets on the back, and I want to put slash pockets on the back. So I'll be using that as my reference. So that is the stack of patterns that I'm going to be keeping on my desk for the immediate future. And I have quite a few indie patterns that I'm going to be using as well. Of course, my first order of business is going to be to finish my white dress that I've been working on, my like honeymoon inspired dress, and then of course the jeans pattern by Anna Allen. What do you think, Mika? Are you excited about my projects? Oh yes, my faithful companion. See you tomorrow.